Trying to get up live for this severe weather coverage on Sunday, March 15th. Should be live. You should be able to hear me, but if not, please leave a comment in the chat. Streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So we're just watching this severe line of thunderstorms move into the southern Indiana area from the west. So we'll monitor all the way from Monroe County down through Perry County and then points off to the east. So, anyways, this is kind of the setup that we're looking at right now. I use GR Level 3 software. So we are actually using the Evansville, Indiana radar currently, which is situated over here, as the KLVX or Louisville radar is just a little far away to see the main threat of what's coming. These red boxes that you see are severe thunderstorm warnings. If we see any pink boxes show up, those would be tornado warnings. But as you can see, we have our main line, which is back here, getting close to the Indiana-Illinois border. Very intense. You're seeing reflectivity values in the 50 to 60 range, with some of these pink spots being upwards of 60 to 65 dBz. Again, right now, this looks to just be a damaging wind threat, winds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour. But this line has kind of blown up since it's gotten close to us, and we are kind of watching this preemptive line here through Warwick County and Pike County up towards Daviess County as this heads into the area. So let me just check and let me see if I am in fact, okay, thank you. If I am in fact live, sounds like I am. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into motion. You can kind of see, I know it can get annoying if you're not used to it, but you can see this line out ahead of the system. It's kind of forming to the north. What will its effect be on the line behind it? We will see there is a gap between these two lines, and so it's not cutting off the inflow, the air inflow into this line behind it. So again, this kind of remains to be seen. This area in southern Indiana is under a tornado watch until 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So again, we're looking out to the west. This line will move through quickly, and it will move through in a very strong fashion. These severe thunderstorm warnings are back out to our west again. This would be Gibson County, Posey, Wabash. They went ahead and issued it ahead for Knox County. And so if we click on this, you can see they're canceling some of these severe thunderstorm warnings, but they were producing upwards of 60 mile per hour winds and traveling east at 50 miles per hour. So again, that's kind of what we want to watch here and see how these are going to progress as they move off into the east. Throughout Orange County, some light sprinkles, light rain showers, especially as you head off towards French Lick. And then you get into Martin County and Dubois County, some isolated, localized showers. And then again, as you head over towards Petersburg and off to the south towards Boonville, that first line that's moving to the east at 50 miles per hour. No, it will not be north of Orange County. But hello, welcome in. This is the one I'm most interested in, actually. The one, obviously, the main line further back. This is the one right here that we are kind of tuned into because this will move through the Pike County, Dubois County, Orange County line. As you can see, it's pretty expansive from north to south. And actually, if we zoom out, you can see that it's very expansive north to south. I only see one tornado warning in southern Tennessee right now. So on the tornado front, that's good, but we are still under a tornado watch for the next 5 hours or so. These storms will move through long before that's the case, but we set the scene, light rain, Orange County, probably not much, but a couple of sprinkles in western Washington County. And this radar is just going to go and it's just going to update. So we are looking at the cumulative reflectivity. So essentially is what happens is when the radar scans a column of the atmosphere, whatever the strongest reflectivity value it sees, it plots on this. If I were to switch from this to a base reflectivity, This is what the strength of the storm is, where the radar is actually like seeing it down at the base of the system. So again, we've got this stronger line further to the west. We've got this preliminary line trying to form ahead. Right now, this gap between these two lines is not looking to slow down the main line very much. So that is something to watch. Again, if this line of storms can continue to get its inflow air from the south, then it will remain severe. So we'll read the scene there. Just commenting to people that have my cell phone number. Let's see. So again, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings all along that line. We'll see how long that holds up. I can hear a little bit of rain outside right now. Hello, everybody. Oh, you're welcome, Faith. I'm going to be very tired at work tomorrow. Can't go to bed until I say it's safe. Well, the good news is this is going to move really fast. Starting to rain in town already. I don't know what town you're in. I'm going to assume maybe Salem, but I don't see it on the radar there. Let's see. With all the rain-soaked air out front, I think it will weaken. I was having that conversation earlier with someone. Typically we see that, right? In order to sustain severe thunderstorms, you need sun, you need the energy, you need many different things: moisture, lift, the dynamics, wind shear, rotational shear, directional shear. In this case, this line has such strong dynamics with it. And just if you need an example of that, look at how windy it was today. Look how windy it still is. So we've not been functioning on a lot of sun today. So dynamically, this line is going to remain strong. But like you're saying, it's just literally like, are we going to be able to produce tornadoes? That's the main threat. Yeah, that's why, Brad. That's why I figured it was Salem, but you never know. Some thunder in Salem. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and switch over, shall we? Since you guys are saying that, we're going to go ahead and switch over to the Louisville radar. And this will take a little bit to get through. This is now the Louisville radar that we are looking at. Yeah. And with the Louisville radar here, we'll go back to the cumulative reflectivity. So as you can see here, and I'll pause because there's a little break in it. Radar is always 6 minutes behind, so something to keep in mind. These thunderstorms are more severe than they appear now. As a radar works, the radar beam actually goes further up into the atmosphere the further away from the radar site. That's why I was using Evansville to get a better view on that line. So essentially is what's happening is this radar is coming out of Louisville or west of Louisville, and it's at a pretty high angle by the time it gets to this line over here by Evansville, and it's still showing those strong reflectivities of 50 to 55 and even 60 in some spots. So that's why we see severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. We still have the tornado watch in effect. So again, that's kind of what we're just watching across the area. You'll see as it slowly fills in. Hopefully, all things considered, we are looking at this maybe kind of weakening as it heads to the east. The dynamics are there for these thunderstorms to turn severe and tornadic, like in a split second. We hope that doesn't happen. Let's go ahead and see any more comments. Can't sleep till it's over. Well, you're welcome, because as I am approaching 40, I can tell you it's past my bedtime. Thanks, Helen. Thunder in Salem. All right, so this is what we are looking at, this line of storms approaching. And if you still want to see what it actually looks like, severity. This is what it is looking like right now. So when I switch to the Louisville radar, it doesn't look this intense. Again, this is the cumulative reflectivity, so this is going to show the most intense. But even if we look at it otherwise, you can still see it's a pretty healthy line of storms. I'm not seeing any rotation to speak of right now. So that's really good news. You are going to see the red and green next to each other next to a radar site. Green is winds blowing towards the radar site. Red would be winds blowing away from the radar site. But again, this is kind of the situation that we're looking at and what we're watching. It's marching off to the east at 50 miles per hour. So obviously, as the crow flies, so to speak, that will be in the Orange County, Washington County, Dubois County area, largely probably within 40 minutes would be my guess. Again, right in that 10 to 11 time frame that we talked about earlier. I know, we're just waiting right now, aren't we? So, kind of see what we can get into here. If we look at the tops of these storms, they're not very high storms. They're not deep convection storms. Typically, you need that to support that rotation and to support that to have enough of a downdraft to actually push the rotation to the ground. Tornado-wise, I'm feeling fairly confident at this point that we might avoid that as a risk at this point. Again, those 60 mile per hour wind gusts are what we're looking at. And actually, we were up around 50 miles per hour at times today during the day. You can see this is VIL, vertically integrated liquid. This is just showing any potential hail threat. This right here, it's so warm right now that this right here is 100% not reaching the ground. So hail is not really a threat today. Let's go ahead and switch back to, because if we switch to Indy radar, you'll kind of see a different setup, right? Indy way to the north, Orange County is down here, Washington County is over here. You can see just these light showers ahead of the area, but a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings with this main line. It's the calm before the storm on the radar. Pun intended. This is kind of what we're looking at right now. Again, this is moving northeast at 50 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gust, which could damage roofs, siding, and trees. Let's see. Thunder in Salem. How big were the hailstones before golf balls were invented? I like that. Cricket's a pretty old game, right? So was it cricket? Cricket balls? You know, that's what, softball size, roughly? Wind picking up in Pekin with a couple of sprinkles. Yeah, that wind is surging out of the south, out of the southwest right now, out ahead of this front. And actually, if you give me just a second, I'll show you something that's truly wild that you all will love. Not really. Let's see if I can do this while I'm live. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, you all can see this, surely. I disappeared. There I am. I just wanted to show you this because I know you all can read my Facebook post, but I wanted to show you this right here. Here's this line of storms, and I know it's March 15th, about to become March 16th, but all this blue and purple and pink back here is snow, and we will see that in the morning, falling from about 74 degrees. I think it's 72, 73 degrees right now. And we will see morning temperatures in the mid-20s tomorrow. So this is what's to come. We're dealing with this right now as we're waiting on it to approach. But we are going to see snow showers tomorrow. I know you all are incredibly excited to see that. I'm sure. Again, just waiting for the action. We'll just let this go into motion for a little while. So those rain showers in Lawrence County, Orange County, we've had reports, yeah, where this is kind of, these light showers are developing ahead of this line in Washington County, across portions of Crawford County. We've still got that gap between these two lines, so that's interesting to see. Sometimes one of two things can happen with this. you can see this first line. You can actually one of three things. This front line that's actually closing in on Dubois County right now, you can actually see it completely cut off the inflow into the line behind it to the west, thus weakening it. We've not been seeing that. I think there's enough of a gap here without reflectivity between these two that they're still getting a good amount of inflow here. One thing I want to point out, like if you look, this line is traveling to the northeast. So you want to look to the southwest for like Dubois, Orange, Washington, Crawford, Lawrence County. And if we actually look off to the south and west, I know it cuts off, but right before it cuts off, you're seeing new thunderstorm development down here across western Kentucky. And again, this is still going into a dynamically, a strong dynamic area for severe weather. And so to see these storms will likely become severe as they start to move up into the southern Indiana area. Raining by West Washington School. Thank you, Cindy. I always appreciate being asked that. Boo on snow. Sorry, Steve. Actually, tomorrow's day one of my golf season, so it's the only time of year that I don't want snow. Oh, let's see. Anyways, just waiting on the party to arrive. I will say, if we go back and we look, it appears as if this line back here, the main line, so to speak, going through Evansville, is actually in like a regenerative type of stage. Thunderstorms, especially lines, can go through this. They're really strong and then they kind of weaken while they strengthen again. And that's what we've just seen, is that line was very strong when we first come on, then it weakened a little, and then it kind of rebuilt itself. So anytime you get hit by a thunderstorm that's in a regeneration type of period where it's strengthening, it's way, way, way more severe than it normally would be otherwise. We'll check and see. Again, we're looking at cloud tops. That's what this is, between 20 and 30,000 feet. Where you see these yellow spots on this tops imagery is where you would see cloud tops in the 30 to 40,000 feet. A lot of those pockets are where you're likely to see stronger winds, simply because you've got stronger thunderstorm infrastructure to house the updraft and thus the downdraft. And so dealing with that. Ville here, again, this is showing the risk for hail. Not seeing it. I want you to notice, though, down here in this area where you've got those higher cloud tops, that's where you're getting a little bit more of a Ville value there. So again, the taller the thunderstorm, the more mature it is, the faster, the stronger the updraft, so it's able to keep afloat some of those hailstones. It's kind of how that works. Let's go base reflectivity 0.5. This is the lowest possible scan. So by the time it leaves Louisville and heads out to the west, it's likely catching these thunderstorms right in the middle. Base reflectivity 3.5. 3.5 is obviously the amount of degrees above horizon. And so it's not picking that up. It's overshooting these storms. So the clouds just aren't tall enough to be caught by it. That's why you're picking up a lot of this as cluster type of material and some raindrops down in southern Indiana. As far as rotation is concerned, this is the storm relative velocity of 0.5. Obviously there's no tornado warnings active. This is a very strong section of this storm right here. This storm is for central Gibson, northwestern Vanderburgh, and northeastern Posey counties. Will expire actually about right now, but they have weakened below the severe level limits and have exited the warned area. Therefore, they will be allowed to expire. Still under the tornado watch. That section of the storm was actually producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, radar indicated. You can tell because if you look, again, we're at the Louisville radar, so you can see this wall of wind that is marching off to the east. this whole wall of wind. That's how you know that it's straight line winds down here. One active severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Sullivan County, northeastern Knox County, and western Daviess County. That's until 10:45, so that's in effect for another 41 minutes. A severe thunderstorm was located, well, this was about 9 minutes ago, 8 miles east of Vincennes, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Radar indicated 60 mile per hour wind gusts. We'll go back to the cumulative reflectivity. Kind of let that play through for a minute. How's it looking for the Evansville area? I would imagine, I mean, you're in it now. Pretty good thunderstorm. But otherwise, you're going to be past it here in just a few minutes, with it moving east at 50 miles per hour. Sprinkles in Orleans. Yeah, I think you're in a little lull spot right there. Just trying to see what's happening with this line is what we're trying to do. I know it's kind of hard to look. This line looks to be, again, in that regeneration where it's trying to strengthen. And the third option is this preliminary line going to act as like an outflow boundary, which is like a gust front, which is where it forces the air up, and then you typically see it fill in the gap with additional new thunderstorms. And right now, how you can see some of these thunderstorms forming out ahead of this the secondary line, makes me think that this preliminary line is acting in the atmosphere like a lifting mechanism where it forces the air up, and then the air obviously cools, it expands, and then it condenses and forms into a thunderstorm under the right conditions. So again, this is what we're watching. That's a pretty good, pretty healthy thunderstorm, this whole little section right here. And that looks to be headed right at Dubois County, Orange County, Lawrence County, because even that's kind of strengthening up on the northern part of that. No tornado warnings to speak of currently, just some severe thunderstorm warnings, warning of upwards of 60 mile per hour straight line winds. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. So again, we're just going to wait and see. That severe thunderstorm warning was let to expire. We are seeing a general growth of this area in terms of thunderstorm activity. You can see it form. So it's just, is this going to be able to build up to a severe level or not? These thunderstorms are teetering on the edge of being severe. Even if it doesn't have a severe thunderstorm warning, you could still see winds gusting upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour. So something that you need to keep in mind, especially if you live in a non-foundationed residence, or if you live near a residence that has trees all around. General rain showers across Lawrence County, Martin, Orange, Dubois County, Washington County now, Crawford, Perry. We've watched that one preliminary line out ahead of it. It's kind of now acting like a gust front, so it's leading to new thunderstorm development behind it, and that's what we are seeing currently on the cumulative reflectivity. Let's see if we're seeing growth in the tops. Not really. You know, I do see some small rotation, but nothing to prompt any sort of warning. You can see here we are with the base reflectivity. You know, this is already headed towards Dubois County. And I will tell you that with the radar being somewhere around 6 to 8 minutes faster than what we actually see on this screen, this storm is likely another 5 miles to the east of what we're seeing. Again, severe thunderstorm warnings up near Daviess and Knox County and further to the north and further to the south. We are seeing more thunderstorms generate along this main line. Right now, they're not severe, but with the dynamics we have in place, that's why we're under a tornado watch. That's why we're under a wind advisory as well. Things can turn in a split second. I actually hope this moves through quickly because I wouldn't want to put up with me tomorrow with no sleep. Looks like maybe they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for this section that we just talked about that was regenerating. And they did. All right, so a new severe thunderstorm warning for that section that we've been waiting to see if it was going to strengthen to a severe thunderstorm warning. If you are in the Lawrence, Washington, Orange, DuBois, Crawford, Perry, this section of storms will be coming through your area. Severe thunderstorm warning for Warwick County in southwestern Indiana, southeastern Gibson County in southwestern Indiana, east central Vanderburgh County, Spencer County, Pike County, northern Daviess County, and Henderson County in northwestern Kentucky. This will be in effect for the next 50 minutes until 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. A line extending from 6 miles south of Washington, Indiana to 6 miles southwest of Linville was moving northeast at 70 miles per hour. So this line was moving 50 miles per hour off to the northeast. Now this line is actually moving at 70 miles per hour. Again, you're in that cycle of strengthening thunderstorms, and when you're in that cycle of strengthening thunderstorms, they're going to move faster. They're going to have faster winds, and if you actually can see on here, the hazard is 70 mile per hour wind gusts now with this severe thunderstorm warning. So if you live in DuBois County, Spencer County, and I know you're not under a severe thunderstorm warning right now for DuBois, Orange, Crawford, Perry, Harrison, Lawrence, Washington, but this section of storms, let me go. This section, I know it doesn't show the warning on here right now, but this section of storms that we've been watching kind of kick back up and reignite, that's what's got a 70 mile per hour risk right now. Okay. We're just letting the radar kind of catch up. But again, that is a severe thunderstorm warning. I think they just went ahead and extended it for DuBois County is now under severe thunderstorm warning. And this is going to move quick as we move through the area. You're going to notice where this is going to move quick. These red boxes are indicative of severe thunderstorm warnings. No tornado warnings in this section of line. Again, if you're in Lawrence County, you're dealing with a strengthening section of storms that just moved past Vincennes. If you are in Vincennes or to the west, you are completely fine. Evansville looks like, I mean, yeah, it's still raining and storming a little bit, but they are pretty much now in the all clear from the risk of this embedded line. Let me check and see. People commenting on how much white I have in my beard. Yeah, it's called getting old. Let's see, comments. Lightning and thunder now in Orleans. Yeah, I can see that. I want to know if you teach weather at West Washington, if I get the chance to answer. I teach a couple of college science classes. Yeah, absolutely. Weather is in my dual credit earth science class. It's not too much in the AP environmental science class. Unfortunately, I'm told that you have to be a university professor to teach just meteorology. So I'm working on that. I'm applying to PhD programs as we speak. Not old, blessed. Is that what the white is? I used to have a teacher in high school said it was platinum blonde. Shout out Mr. Andre. Let's see. Just watching this come through here. Severe thunderstorm warning again for DuBois County. And then we've got Warwick, Spencer, and Pike counties under severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this radar is 6 minutes behind or so. So you are likely going to see this be behind where it's actually at. I know it's kind of annoying when there's a frame out. This is kind of the paused area here. I'm going to guess right now that line is probably about right here is where that line is likely at currently. So just west of Jasper, just west of Shoals. think I can now hear thunder in the distance. Be interesting to see how severe this line is going to get. Is it going to turn tornadic or is it not? Getting some more hail action down here in Warwick County. But we'll let it play out. Getting close. It'll be through here soon. Yeah. Pretty strong line of thunderstorms. I would say I'd be thankful that the wind's going away, but as I understand it, it's going to be not as windy tomorrow, but 26 degrees and 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Pretty wild. Steve. I would say it's probably Kristen snoring. Don't tell her I said that. Let's see. Severe thunderstorm warning again in Dubois County. Actually, let's click on that and see what they said it was. We'll step back just a hair. Dubois County, that is severe thunderstorm warnings in effect until 10:45. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. That storm is moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. One of the things I want to point out is on this line of thunderstorms, which you actually want to look. I know it's difficult with this radar kind of doing what it's doing, but you want to look at this front edge of the line, and if you see some green and yellow before you get to the red, it's not as damaging of straight line winds. Doesn't mean you can't still get 50, 60 mile per hour wind gust, but if you were to see a situation in which the very front of this line was solid red and it went from nothing to red with no green or yellow, that is when you know that it is a very damaging situation with straight line winds. Typically that's over like 75 mile per hour winds. This radar is simply not having it, is it? The cumulative anyways. This is the base reflectivity. I mean, that line is still strengthening. I mean, I want you to watch the amount of red in it. That line is strengthening as it heads into Daviess County. Even down further to the south, that line is strengthening. That's why you've seen this extension of severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, Daviess County, Dubois County under severe thunderstorm warnings as that moves to the east. We don't have any active tornado warning, so fingers crossed that continues because we are under a tornado watch. And again, for those that asked, you're seeing this line remain strong, this main line, simply because there's been this gap out ahead of it that's allowing that wind, that inflow in to feed that thunderstorm. That's the food source for the thunderstorm. Moisture, winds in to sustain that updraft. But yes, we are watching that. Again, green means winds that are headed towards the radar site. We're using the KLVX, which is the Louisville radar site. So you can see this little line of green right here. That is the area of straight line winds. So you can actively see that on the storm relative velocity. If we go a little further up in the atmosphere, again, I'm just changing scan. Yeah, no hail threat to speak of. Base reflectivity. Let's do base reflectivity at 1.5. That's stronger to the south. Now, this right here is what I kind of want to point out. Can you see how this section of the line here from Pike County all the way up? So this would be headed towards probably the Paley area and north up towards Bedford. If you can see this section of the line right here, how it's starting to get more organized and it's starting to bow. So it's got that little curve. that means that you are starting to see more of a straight line wind threat. And you're seeing that red try to get to the front of that line. But again, as it starts to bow out, that is due to the straight line wind. So straight line wind damage, probably the worst right now in this line. It's probably this area right here through Washington that just passed through Washington and Petersburg. Again, still watching this. DuBois County and Daviess County under severe thunderstorm warnings, and off to the south across Spencer County, Warwick, and Pike counties. Just on the other side of this line, be able to call all clear. You might hear some thunder, get some rain, but otherwise, your risk for the evening is done. Okay. Just kind of waiting as this starts to march to the east. We are headed, though, from one National Weather Service to another. So Owensboro, Kentucky's to Louisville, Kentucky's. Warnings are controlled by the local weather service office. So you have watches are put out by like the Storm Prediction Center, but advisories, warnings, tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, they are issued by the local weather service offices. So although they use similar equipment, it will be interested to see on their metrics if they're going to go ahead and when they would go ahead and extend a severe thunderstorm warning to Orange, Crawford, Washington. Lawrence County, for the record, is under the Indianapolis, Indiana. See if our cumulatives come back. It's kind of a disaster. Just kind of watching this line approach the south central Indiana. Again, to reset, if you're just joining us, these red boxes indicate severe thunderstorm warnings. We currently have a severe thunderstorm warning across Daviess County and DuBois County, as well as Warwick and Spencer. Pike County, it's really that line's moved east of Petersburg. Just watching and seeing what's going to happen as it closes in on Jasper. You can see this line is approaching Jasper because this is 6 to 8 minutes behind and this storm is traveling at 65 miles per hour off into the northeast. That's probably knocking right on Jasper's doorstep as we speak. So again, you want to look a little ahead of the line because again, the radar imagery is just a few minutes behind. You got to imagine those radars take a circular scan, so it takes that many minutes for it to get around because it's also scanning vertically and horizontally. That's why it's called dual polarization or dual pol radar. But this is that section of the line that is producing the possible 60 mile per hour wind gust. Still 60 miles per hour. The DuBois is still showing 60 mile per hour wind gust. We're watching again thunderstorm activity across Warwick County as that continues to generate. Remember, these watches are put into place and these warnings are put into place so that people take precaution. It's never a bad thing if there's a warning and it doesn't get as severe as it says. That's never a bad thing. I think oftentimes people hear that we undergo a severe thunderstorm warning and they're like, well, I didn't get 1-inch diameter hail. Well, that's a good thing. It didn't damage your car, roof, agriculture. It'll be picking up here soon. Just kind of in a holding pattern. We're at 1.5 degree now tilt on the radar out of Louisville, so that's a little higher in the storm. So you're still, the strongest part of the storm is actually here that I'm circling in Pike and Daviess County. 3.5 degree is just a little too high for that distance out. I would say this line is bearing down on Jasper now or within the next few minutes. It's approaching Shoals and Lagodi. They went ahead and have extended a severe thunderstorm warning into portions of Martin County now. That is until 11. So at 10:21, so 3 minutes ago, severe thunderstorm was located near Bloomfield, or 29 miles southwest of Bloomington, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour with 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So if we kind of back out a little bit, Monroe County's up here, so that would be Bloomington. They're trying to get in on the action. They've got severe thunderstorm warnings all the way up, and I know you may look at this and you might say, well, those storms don't look very severe up in Sullivan County, Greene County, Owen County. Well, again, we're using the Louisville radar. If I were to switch the site and we were to go to Indianapolis and let that play out, then all of a sudden this line's going to look drastically different. It's not going to look as severe down here because it's so far from Indianapolis. Now, let's actually go and let's take a look at the Evansville. See, Evansville's got a pretty good handle on it from behind. So if you want another look, now the Evansville radar is showing again, look, that red in some spots is real close to the front of that. I mean, you get a little bit of that, the green, the 30s reflectivities, and maybe even some of the low 40s reflectivities before you get to it. But this is definitely the strongest portion of this line right now. But it is trying to build and connect in with this area in Warwick County down around Boonville. Again, this is the Evansville radar that we're using, so it's kind of scanning it from the other side. Let's go ahead and let's go back to Louisville here. Again, we're just sitting and waiting, but it's getting ever so close. That whole area is a severe thunderstorm warning associated with the whole line. Again, it comes into Martin County past Shoals. These red boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings. Moving off to the northeast at anywhere between 60 and 70 miles per hour. And if you look down here, we're seeing a little bit more growth in that last frame. So this area is trying to form. You can see it's covered quite a bit of distance in a short period of time. I mean, this starts at 9:48, so 23, so about 35 minutes. 35 minutes, it's gone from Vincennes all the way to just west of Shoals. So again, that's in 35 minutes, which means in 35 minutes, it's likely to be on the Washington-Orange County line, past Bedford, past Paoli, past English. Again, right now we're just waiting to see if the Indianapolis or the Louisville National Weather Service are going to issue severe thunderstorm warnings. Even if they don't, doesn't mean that anything changed with the thunderstorm. Just means that their metrics are not showing 55 mile per hour wind gust or higher, or 1-inch diameter hail making it to the surface of the earth. Kind of boring. I might have jumped on a little too fast. Again, to reset, Washington County seeing some light rain. Orange County was seeing some light rain, but they're now in that gap prior to the main line. Bedford now starting to enter that gap of little precipitation in advance of this line of storms. Severe thunderstorm warnings all to the west, though, pretty much from Indianapolis, west of Indianapolis, all the way down into Kentucky. Here's that area of this storm that actually we talked about in the last frame, showed growth. You can see that it jumps, and now it's almost completed its entire just red rope of 50 to 60 dBz reflectivity. Shoals right now is I guaranteed in it. Jasper right now is I guaranteed in it. And that's racing off to the north and east at 60 miles per hour. I'm keeping you calm. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm never going to be the person that wants to get all the views and make the millions of dollars on YouTube and everything. I prefer to just stick to the science. A lot of you know me that are watching still. I don't like to hype things up unless they need hyped up. It's like the boy who cried wolf, so to speak, right? I don't like to do that. Again, just waiting to see if the Louisville Weather Service is going to issue this out ahead. I will say that even though you're going to see temperatures pretty much from right when this line hits will be around 70. Let's see what it is right now. 70. Oh, see, it was 71. Now it's already 62 degrees. So we're kind of in that rain cooled air once that rain hit out ahead of the line. But snow showers tomorrow. If you saw my video this morning, some areas could see upwards of a ½ inch scattered throughout the day. Temperatures in the mid to upper 20s, might peak around 32 or 33 if we get lucky. Wind chills Tuesday morning in the single digits. You heard that right, single digits. If it wasn't the first day of golf season, I wouldn't care. Unfortunately, it is. Oh, well, thank you, backwards _ man 7. I'll keep your real name hidden for now. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. I mean, I doubt I get admitted, but I've been applying to some PhD programs in Europe to ironically study snow and winter precipitation. It's not that I don't like severe weather, but like it's boring. Angie, that's incorrect. If it were up to me, I could handle somewhere between 100 and 2 inches of snow per winter. So I clearly live in the wrong area. Severe thunderstorm warnings. Same spots. Martin County, Dubois County, Spencer County. You all that want the heat, you just need to move to Florida or Texas. Well, thank you, Casey. I appreciate that. And by the way, I would still be living here. So for all of my students that would be celebrating that. Oh, I doubt I get in if I'm being honest, but it would be cool. Another 4 years to question all my decisions. Here we go, just waiting on this line of thunderstorms. We're 6 to 8 minutes behind, so this line of thunderstorms is likely getting fairly close to the western Orange County border, the western Lawrence County border. See if my cumulative radar is working any better. You can see, I mean, when you take that highest reflectivity value and plot it on here, that is definitely a Boeing line. So I do think that there are some areas that will get some damaging winds. Yeah, I mean, even the VIL values going up a little bit indicates that these thunderstorms are maturing. They are growing. Still waiting to see if the Indianapolis or the Louisville National Weather Service offices will extend these severe thunderstorm warnings to the east of this line. This line is likely to be right at the Lawrence and Orange County line right now. I know that on the radar it looks a little further behind, but again, this is moving so fast that even a scan being 6 to 8 minutes behind. We got a heavier area of rain that's actually in southeastern Lawrence County, and then northern Washington County, probably towards South Tillow, I would imagine, all the way up towards Brownstown. Great place. I think his first name's Jack, right? Jack Benter hit some pretty good free throws for us today when we won the Big Ten tournament. And just like that, a severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect for Orange County and the western portions of Washington County and the western portions of Lawrence County. So Bedford, Paoli, Orleans, Mitchell, French Lick, Livonia, Campbellsburg, they are all now under a severe thunderstorm warning. The warning for Lawrence County is in effect until 11:15. So for the next 40 minutes or so, it is traveling northeast at 50 miles per hour. So it's slowed down a little bit. So it'll put down a little bit more rain. 60 mile per hour winds, radar indicated. The severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Orange and portions of western Washington County. Again, in effect for the next 40 minutes. It is moving east at 55 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour winds in effect. So we now have action. Severe thunderstorm warning was extended over by the Indianapolis and the Louisville weather services. We'll just see as this line starts to approach what areas are going to be weakening, what areas are going to be strengthening. And it's kind of like a game of dodgeball as to who's going to get hit. But I would say that this line is actively hitting the western county borders for Lawrence and Orange counties. I would say then within probably 30 minutes, as this radar updates, I'd say within 30 to 35 minutes, places like Paoli and Bedford will likely be in the all clear. Just some typical rain behind it, but let me switch and go to Evansville. Just see if Evansville's given us a better. Here we go. There we go. Just the Louisville radars. Well, we spoke too soon. This radar is behind a little bit, but its last known scan here, again, you've got these little dots of pink indicating reflectivities above 60 dBz. Very strong to the south down in southern Warwick County. That is again moving off to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Radar indicated 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Anywhere where you see a smaller gap between the red and like the blue area will be the strongest winds. So north of Shoals, that's headed right towards actually Fayetteville, Bedford. I mean, we'll see if that holds up or not. An area of this line that maybe wouldn't have as strong of winds would be right in this area right here, where again you have that green transitioning from the blue. You see the yellow and the orange and into the red. But this is kind of what we're watching. They've extended that severe thunderstorm warning again over Bedford, technically in the warning, Paoli, Orleans, Mitchell, French Lick. Nothing for Crawford County at this time, although if you still look to your west, like of English and in Perry County, Tell City, you still have a very strong, I mean, this is a very strong line of thunderstorms that is moving off to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. And it's going to be quick. It's going to be real quick. So if you are in French Lick right now, if you're in Fayetteville, you're going to be seeing these heavy winds. You probably can already hear the thunder, would be my guess. But you're going to be getting these very strong winds here in the next 10 minutes, tops. Thunderstorm warning in, Lawrence. Caitlin Boiler up. That's right. You'd be in South Florida. Ooh, the humidity. No thanks. I don't think you're probably going to get much snow on the road tomorrow, but you never know. Do me a favor. Oh, now Hardinsburg is probably under severe thunderstorm warning now. Yes, they are. So severe thunderstorm warning was just issued for Crawford County, Perry County. So again, this whole line, all these red boxes, severe thunderstorm warnings. That's severe thunderstorm warning for Southern Orange County, Crawford County, Perry County. Moving east at 50 miles per hour now, and 60-mile-per-hour winds, radar indicated. Again, if you live in a non-foundational structure, straight line winds of 60 miles per hour is dangerous, and it's dangerous for anybody who lives in a residence that's got trees directly to their west, because they would be blown to the east. So again, this entire line here, I'm going to say that if you're in western Lawrence County right now, if you're in western Lawrence County, that's a pretty tight gradient there in the front of that line. So I could see 55, 60 mile per hour wind gusts there. A little less organized down here around Jasper. But yeah, I mean, you can see it's just a solid wall of red. Let's hop on here and see. The good news is that we don't see any active tornado warnings in our area. But you can, if we back out, you can see this line here. Just as clear as day. Tornado warnings off to the south, though, for us. If we go back to our base reflectivity, even the base reflectivity, you can see where it's grown in width, where this line is getting healthier. I would say, yeah, Fayetteville's got to be getting it right now on the 1.5 degree base reflectivity. French Lick is probably getting in on the action right now. There is a little split in the line, at least at 1.5 degrees. Just west of French Lick. We'll see if that makes a difference, or if that area here is not going to be getting as strong of winds, and that would be Paoli. Hopefully this can refresh here. Well, Zach, I wouldn't have put that out into the universe, but hopefully this marks year one that it doesn't happen. So we'll see. Hardinsburg, you may benefit in Hardinsburg actually from, if we're seeing that gap on the 1.5 degree, that makes me think that that line might have blown out in that certain spot. And actually it is thinning in that area there just north of Jasper. Just trying to watch this here. Cumulative reflectivity. Let's actually change our site and go back to Louisville. See if we can have some better luck here. Here you go, latest scan, Louisville. Again, Bedford, Paoli, Mitchell, Orleans. You're just kind of in that calm before the storm. Rain showers across much of Jackson County, Washington County, even really down into Harrison, Crawford, Floyd, and approaching Scott County off to the east. There is that break that we were just talking about. And if you've been watching live, you heard me talk about that at 1.5 degrees. You could see it. So a little higher up, probably the mid-levels of that line of thunderstorms you could hear. Let's see. Let me mark this. You can see that line. That's the line of winds right there. So it's probably occurring right now in Fayetteville, headed straight towards Bedford, or it just passed Fayetteville. It's probably approaching or hitting French Lick right now, closing in on Orleans, Mitchell, Paoli. But again, that's that gust front. Sometimes I'm watching to see and I'm not seeing it, which is good. But sometimes when a line like this splits, you see rotation form on the bottom or the south side of the northern line. And we're not actively seeing that currently, so that's good. Just a general severe thunderstorm warning in effect across portions of, it's not technically Salem, but it is over towards Salem, Bedford, Paoli, English. It's getting close to getting outside of Jasper now. So if you live in the Washington area, you're safe. Petersburg, you're safe. Vincennes, Terre Haute, you're safe. If we march a little further north here, Bloomington, under severe thunderstorm warning, that'll be through there within the next 30 minutes. So right now, this area right here with no red is going to be a weaker point of that line. It'll be interesting to see if it will build back or not. So again, these are just natural. It's kind of like an ebb and flow. These are just natural increases and decreases just through a normal thunderstorm cycle. Degree and a half base reflectivity. You can see that is trying to fill back in there, but that's on pace to probably hit Paoli and head over along 56 East. Is Louisville okay? Let's see. Just started raining in New Albany. Yep, and it'll be raining in New Albany for the next, probably 45 minutes or so before this line gets there. 30, 45 minutes. Lights flickered in Campbellsburg. Interesting. Anybody that's got a, I'm not saying anything about Campbellsburg, but anybody that's got a weaker infrastructure with power could be vulnerable to this line. I know where I reside. I'm worried that my power may go out, so that'd be fun. Is there something behind this line? Why is there a tornado warning until 3 a.m.? Oh, you mean tornado watch. They just issue that because it's so many hours ahead to give people a warning. Essentially, what happens is once this line passes through, they'll cancel that tornado watch. So you don't have to worry about that. Louisville, okay. Well, let's check on Louisville, but oh, my power just flickered. So Louisville's fine for now. You're just going to see general thunderstorm activity. You're going to see what everybody else is seeing right now, which is a line of severe thunderstorm warnings that's headed from west to east, producing maybe upwards of 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, depending upon your exact location. But otherwise, nothing to the point of a tornado warning anywhere that's seen right now. We just got wall-to-wall severe thunderstorm warnings on the main REMC lines, and we just flashed. Well, yeah, I've flashed a couple times now. You might have, oh, there you go, just again. If that's not proof, I don't know what is, that this is a strong line of wind that's now moving through the Bedford region. 1047, okay. Now, you can see here, if you actually zoom into Du Bois, you can see this portion of the storm. See how it was literally yellow, and then within 10 minutes, it's back up to a DBZ intensity level of above a 60. So that's how fast this can change. I mean, we saw this just west of Paoli. There was no red. Now all of a sudden it's filled in with red. This is just the normal process of a line of severe thunderstorms. Again, not seeing anything in the way of tornado warnings, just a Line of severe thunderstorm warnings that are moving off to the east at 50 to 60 miles per hour with 60 mile per hour straight line winds. So again, I will stay with you as long as humanly possible. I know I've done one of these once and lost power, and I was able to go for a little bit because my internet's got some sort of a battery backup, but once it goes, I'm out of commission. I'll try to text post on Facebook, but if I randomly disappear before this gets east of Salem, it was my power. Maybe ghosts making electricity flash. Well, it's possible. There's not enough chocolate here for the stress I feel. Casey, I still need to get you the merch that you've wanted. It's just a shame. The area that we live in, I can't call my followers Wolfpack because, even though I am wearing orange. Severe thunderstorm warnings. I can only say it so many times before it becomes boring. But they are now all across the area. Anywhere from Bedford right now is likely starting to get in on the action. Bedford's starting to get in on the action. French Lick's in the action. Mitchell will be in it here shortly as this radar starts to update. If we actually look on the 1.5 degree, we're seeing a little bit of intensification along this line. See if we're getting any higher tops. Not really. It'll arrive quickly when it arrives. I know it's been a long, drawn-out process, seemingly, since it was entering Indiana an hour ago. Oh, well, thank you, Kristen. I appreciate that. Hey, a broken clock's right twice a day. Yeah, twice a day. I thought I screwed that up. Definitely a stronger segment down here, just east of Jasper. I know. It's annoying whenever the radar does this. Here we go. Bedford, you can see right now, this was last updated about 2 minutes ago. But you can see Bedford right now bearing down on them. And then down into northwestern Orange County. This is where it gets a little bit more scattered intensity. Here's that really intense part of that thunderstorm there in eastern Dubois County. That is likely headed off towards Hardinsburg. I would say this section of that line will be headed towards Hardinsburg. Bill. You can see this green is the straight line winds, and you can see how it's not as clear cut right here because that segment of the line is a little weaker. But if you get down near the surface, that's a very strong line of winds there. You're looking at probably upwards of 40 knots, 35 knots. So I'll do quick math. What's 35 knots to miles per hour? You'd think I'd know some of this. Yeah, 40. So probably you're looking at around probably 45, 50 mile per hour wind gusts in this section. But again, it's bearing down on Bedford right now. Mitchell here any minute. Then Orleans, Paoli, and then a little further to the southwest as you head off to the south. This is the 0.5 scan. It was just updated about a minute and a half ago. So again, this is a base reflectivity, so it's what you see at the base of the storm and at 0.5. If we scan a little higher in the thunderstorm, you can see still just as intense. But that line now showing that it's in Bedford. If we zoom in a little closer here, in Bedford, because it's a few minutes behind, it'd be in Mitchell. Orleans looks to get a weaker segment of that line. Yeah, because that line has weakened. So it's in a regenerative phase where it's not quite regenerated yet. So Orleans likely to miss a lot of damaging winds. If we go down towards Paoli and step it back, Paoli needs to watch for this section right here. So I suspect this section, if it holds together in intensity, will be what hits Paoli. But again, that's through West Baden Springs, so the Orangeville area moving towards Paoli. If we move a little further south, that's now east of Birdseye. So that'll be headed towards English here soon. But that's kind of the state of where things lie right now. Kind of a nice little S there. S for snow tomorrow, maybe, in the reflectivity. Yeah, so Paoli is going to get that section, that red section of the storm. Orleans is the one that's, I don't know, this little, they may still catch pretty good little wind gusts there. It's getting awfully close. As you can see, it'll be in Paoli here any minute. Has just gone through Bedford. I don't know, is anybody, Rural Mitchell is out of power. Okay, thank you for that report. Appreciate it. Again, that was Rural Mitchell is out of power. So if we zoom in on Mitchell, you know, that's the same intensity it's going to hit a lot of these other places. So hopefully we can minimize the amount of power outages. That line, you can see where that line's trying to get back more into a building regenerative phase there. General rain is still across Washington County. The Louisville area experiencing maybe a couple of scattered light rain showers right now as your action is still off into the south and west. Paoli and Orleans will be next up on the docket. Orleans probably starting to get into it right now. Paoli probably another 5 minutes away. You can see if we back out here, this is base reflectivity at 0.5 degrees. So that's at bottom of that line. I will say there is down to the south here. Yeah, that's a pretty hairy looking storm. That is a tornado warning that's just been issued for Butler County, Kentucky, over towards Grayson County. So that's headed off to the northeast. That will stay south of Louisville, but goes to show you that this line, that's where more of the tornado warnings are actually located. But it just goes to show you that this line can turn in a second. Go back to cumulative, it's still pulling its business here. That's a rapidly growing intensity part of that storm that would be headed towards Hardinsburg, though. That's 1.5 degree. As you can see it, it's right here. It's this section right here in southern Orange County, extreme northwestern Crawford County. Again, that's headed off into the north and the east. Severe thunderstorm warnings still in place for Bedford, all of Orange County, western Washington County, and then down through Perry and Crawford County. So that's kind of what we're watching as this moves through. Bedford getting hit hard right now. Do you still have power? You're in Huron? Okay. Off topic. Casey, that's funny. I don't know if you get that from your son or not. Me and actually Backwards Man 7 have both applied to that show. If there's a casting producer watching right now, which there's not, they should cast me, right? Anyways, that's great. I would absolutely be on it, and I applied November 1st of last year, just for the record. Paoli should be getting in on this any second. We had a report of Rural Mitchell being out of power. Bedford got hit hard. I'm just curious if Bedford has power. You have power. Okay, that's good. Crazy wind and rain. Bedford actually, from the look of it, I would say, unless you live decently east of Bedford, you are pretty much in the clear at this point. Once you see this line move through, you're out of the main threat area. Paoli should be any second. Orleans should be any second. Yeah, Paoli's going to catch a pretty good little storm. You can see that gap's kind of filled in. I can start to hear it now, so be curious to see how long I last with power. Traders are among us. Yeah, and their name's backwards, man. 7. For anybody listening to this, if you like unscripted TV, Traders, I'll do a plug for them. It's on Peacock. It's a really good show. Again, severe thunderstorm warnings in place. They've not extended it any further to the east yet, so Salem not technically under a thunderstorm warning currently. They've taken away the severe thunderstorm warning for Bedford. Only extreme northeastern Lawrence County is under that severe thunderstorm warning. That line is now past IU in Bloomington, so you're now in the all clear other than just general rain. I don't like that part of that storm right here. Yeah, that's the part of the storm I don't like right there. As you can see, a tiny, again, there's no tornado warnings issued, but in extreme southern Orange County, you could tell on the base reflectivity radar, you could see this little notch right here. Can you see it? Like a little L, sideways L. That indicates to me that there's rotation that's trying to form right there, and you can actually see it here on the radar, especially if you go into 2.5 degrees. See this red? See this green? That is rotation in that part of the cell. Now, that would be headed off towards the Hardinsburg, Fredericksburg area, and then rural central Washington County. So this area needs watched, in my opinion. We'll see if it forms into anything. But I definitely think that's an area that is being watched by the Weather Service. You can definitely see it on the storm relative velocity 2.5 degree, which is higher up in the cloud. So if anything, this tells me that there's rotation, potentially a funnel cloud, but it's way up in the thunderstorm. Because if you go down into the mid levels, it's there, but not as organized. And if you go down to the ground, it's not there. So that's something to watch. That's in southern Orange County, approaching actually State Road 37 South. There. Big town of Rego. Same with Rego. I mean, what I was just talking about, unfortunately, I would say you need to be tuned in on, because that is an area of interest with rotation that's trying to form. Orleans getting hit hard now? Yeah, absolutely. I just wonder if it's about through Orleans. It should be. Thunder in Livonia? Absolutely. Wind just got here in Paoli. Surprised I haven't lost power yet. Thanks, Casey. I appreciate that. I wish you were casting for that show. Oh, yeah, you're right. And the wind just got to my residence. And that is a tornado warning. So just as I called it, a tornado warning before they did it. A tornado warning now is in effect for southern Orange County. This is just south of Paoli. I can hear the wind now at my house, so I'll get up if my house gets destroyed. Tornado warning for west central Clark County, southeastern Orange County, and central Washington County. So if you are in the Hardinsburg, Fredericksburg, and even into Salem now under a tornado warning in place. That tornado warning is in effect until 11:45 p.m. Again, that's radar indicated rotation, which we were just talking about. I'm trying to get this to refresh. There's that rotation right there. And again, this pink box is that tornado warning. This is just south of Paoli, so I don't see Paoli being a threat of this. But if you live in Hardinsburg, if you live in Fredericksburg, you need to take immediate cover, a central part of your home or where you live. And if this holds together, again, we're talking out here. I mean, Livonia is in this, Hardinsburg, Fredericksburg just south of it. But if you're in Hardinsburg or between, like on Hardinsburg Livonia Road, you need to absolutely be paying attention to this tornado warning that's now in effect. Trying to see, here it is right here. Here's the rotation. Let's see if it's all the way down to the ground. It could be. That one could possibly verify. So there could be a very weak spin up tornado here It would be an EF0 to an EF1 likely, but this is in southern Orange County, just south of Paoli. You need to take cover now. Yes, the siren should be going off in Salem. Salem, you're probably still 10 to 15 minutes out of this rotation. I know Paoli is getting hammered right now. So please, again, tornado warning for that whole area. This pink box that you see, tornado warning in effect. You can see that rotation. Green are winds headed towards the Louisville radar, red are winds headed away. And so when you've got them going in those two different directions, that's when you start to get that rotation. We're looking at the 2.5 degree now. I'm trying to get an updated scan here. This was last updated 2.5 minutes ago. So this rotation is likely closing in on Hardinsburg right now. Again, it's okay. You just need to get into the lowest part of your structure of where you live. You need to place something over the top of your head and back that can protect you, preferably not bordering up against any outside portions of your home. But that rotation is very clear right there. But you can see it clear as day. Paoli, you're safe and fine. Orleans, safe and fine. Again, this tornado warning is in effect for southern Orange County, likely headed over towards Hardinsburg. If I'm being honest with you, it's probably going to travel just north of Hardinsburg. So Chambersburg, between Chambersburg and Valine. But that's where this tornado is likely at right now. If it is on the ground, would be just north of Valine, just south of Chambersburg as it heads off to the north and the east. Again, tornado warning in effect for this pink box area. This is just south of Paoli. This includes Hardinsburg, Livonia, and then the Salem area off into the north of east. Again, this is just radar indicated rotation. We can see it. It's not super, you want these two, if you want a tornado, which we don't, you want these two values, the red and the green, next to each other to indicate that rotation. We're not seeing it there right now, but if we look at the actual value, you're looking at 30, you're looking at 40, so 70 knots. So if you convert 70 knots into miles per hour, this is probably around an 85 mile per hour, so a very weak EF0 tornado. But something to note, be honest, I mean, this is just radar indicated right now, but again, a tornado warning in effect for southern Orange County. This will head out, again, I think between Valine and Chambersburg. We'll see. I mean, it could get up to Livonia. But again, tornado warning in effect right now. Here is this portion of this storm. Again, when it's notched like this, we just talked about this L right before they issued the warning. That is typically what's called a rain-wrapped tornado. Now, this isn't a supercell. That's why it's going to be a weaker variety tornado if it does even reach the ground. But it's rain-wrapped, so it's very difficult. You want to look for a kidney bean type of appearance or a B type of appearance in that section of the thunderstorm, and that's where it would be. But again, this is the 0.5 degree scan, waiting on the new imagery to come in. This imagery is actually several minutes behind now. So we've got to treat this seriously as if there is a tornado on the ground. I do think this is going to be just north of Hardinsburg. I really don't know why this hasn't refreshed here in the last 4 to 5 minutes, so we need to be getting on it. Here we go. 11:07 on the 0.5. Still under a tornado warning here across portions of southeastern Orange County and then headed into southwestern Washington County. I'm not seeing much in the way of rotation there on the 0.5. But there is a little bit, so if this did touch down, it may have been brief, and it may be back up, but still it's an active tornado warning, so you need to take this seriously. I know Paoli is being pummeled right now. Sirens in French Lick. Sirens in French Lick. Salem, unless they just canceled the tornado warning, which this rotation doesn't look as strong as it did. Tornado sirens going off in Orleans. Interesting. Orleans, you're fine. French Lick, you're fine. My guess is when they do this, I'm just guessing, emergency managers, since a portion of Orange County is under a tornado warning, all of Orange County sirens probably were initiated. So if that being the case, you should see tornado sirens all across Washington County, Orange County. But again, let me reiterate, if you're in French Lick, if you're in Orleans, you are not under a threat. This main threat is past you to the east. It's arrived in Pumpkin Center. Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome, Braden. Let's see. South Boston, Bedford, Bloomington. Bedford and Bloomington's completely fine at this point. Mitchell's fine. Orleans is fine. French Lick's fine. Paoli, other than just a general thunderstorm. This is the area that we're watching right here. Again, this is a couple of minutes behind. This is about 2 minutes behind. It's very weak now. It's very weak rotation now. But it's still there, but still take it seriously. So again, if you live anywhere, I'm sure Pekin, they're under a tornado warning. Salem's under a tornado warning. Livonia, Hardinsburg, Chambersburg. Let's see here. Just checking on another device to see if something has been canceled. E-Town, Kentucky, Bowling Green, tornado warnings. That tornado warning is still active across our area, just since my program's a little soft here, but you can see this little area. I mean, that's it right there. So it's a little bit more active up in the clouds. If we go down to 0.5, so is what this is telling me right now is that you're seeing more rotation, which is literally right here, just south of Chambersburg. So between Valine and Chambersburg. So it'll head off north of Hardinsburg. Since you're seeing that rotation more clearly defined, not greatly defined, but clearly defined on a 2.5 degree, that's higher in the thunderstorm, which means that funnel cloud has likely retreated back up into the cloud. But do not, by any stretch of the imagination, take that as what it is. If you were in that, I think sirens are still going off in Paoli, but Paoli, you're not under a threat. Again, this is just kind of standard procedure, so you're probably hearing them in West Baden, French Lick, Orleans, Paoli. You all are fine. You're not under an active threat. The area we're watching is down here, headed towards like Hardinsburg and Livonia, and then further to the east into southwestern Washington County. Put this into motion here. 11:08, so we should be getting a new scan in anytime. Again, this is that area that we're watching right here. It's probably already exiting. This was 5 minutes ago. This area is likely already east of Chambersburg, in between Hardinsburg and Livonia. So if you live on Hardinsburg-Livonia Road, it's probably bearing down on you right now, trying to get a new image update. 78, min 99. Direction. That's 11:08. That's 11:09. So that's 11:10. So this is newer imagery. Again, this is 2.5 degree. This is higher up in that thunderstorm. That rotation is still there. So this storm still has a funnel. It's hard to say whether it is on the ground or not. It's less organized on the lower scan of the thunderstorm, where it's more organized actually higher up in the thunderstorm, but you still need to take it seriously. You're still under a tornado warning for Livonia, for Hardinsburg, for Salem, and for Pekin. This is just south of Campbellsburg, but this would also include actually just east of Salem as well, towards the Little York area, but that's a little far away. Next update in 1 second. Let's see it. You didn't give me the update. Again, tornado warning is in effect. Still hear the sirens going off in Paoli. But again, remember Paoli, Orleans, Mitchell, Bedford, Bloomington, French Lick. You're all safe at this point. This threat is off to your east. Again, if you live in Salem, you live in Hardinsburg, Chambersburg, Livonia, you're still under that active threat. I'm just trying to get this to update because it's like 5 minutes behind at this point. Still rotations there, but it's higher up in the storm. Now, this is... Okay, here we go. This is the most recent. This is what I wanted. Yeah, this is base level. So base level just updated about 45 seconds ago. That area of rotation is still there. So again, if you are in this is firmly between Hardinsburg and Livonia. So you need to be in your safe spots across this area. And if you live anywhere east northeast of this Hardinsburg Livonia road out in these rural areas towards Salem, you need to be in your safe spot. You need to be taking cover. The lowest, most central room in your house or structure that you live in. Still not getting an update on that. I really want to see the update on... Yeah, you got that small little hook. I mean, you can see it clear as day. I mean, that rotation's still there at the 2.5 degree, but that was also 5 minutes ago. So again, this rotation is now likely firmly between Livonia and Hardinsburg. As again, this radar image is 5 minutes behind. Let's see. Rain and thunder, Little York, thanks for the updates. Fredericksburg, you're just going to get that general line of storms. You're south of the tornado warning. You may hear sirens. I don't know if you have sirens or not. But this whole area is actually starting to show a little bit of rotation. So I would get in a safe spot and just in case and be there. Tater Road was scary for a few minutes. Yes, absolutely. That come through pretty hard. Tornado warning for Fredericksburg as well. They may have sirens going off. Okay, now hang on. Let me get in here. This is a new update. Okay, 11:16. This is this is high up in the cloud. So yeah, so anywhere in this area. So Orange County now clear of that tornado warning. It's moved off into Washington County. This is just north of Fredericksburg. If you were in Fredericksburg, I would take cover if I were you, just in case. But this whole area of rotation, you can firmly see it here bearing down on Hardinsburg, Livonia. I'm trying, okay, I don't see much rotation there in the mid-levels. I still think this is a funnel cloud that's further up into the storm, but you have to take this seriously. So if you're in Pekin, Hardinsburg, Livonia, and Salem, you need to be in your safe spots for now. Get in the basement. I'm safe. I'm good. I'm just headed towards snow right now. You want the snow back? Okay, Shay, I'll check with you tomorrow when it's 28 and snowing and see if you want it. Again, if you're in this area, I don't even know what that means. If you're in this area between Livonia and Hardinsburg, you need to be in your safe spot. Campbellsburg, I mean, it's bearing down on you right now, but I'm more focused on this tornado warning right here that's firmly across Washington County and extreme northwestern Clark. But this area right here is right where this tornado radar indicated rotation is at. Let's click on the box. It is a tornadic thunderstorm. Let's see. Remains in effect for Washington and Central Clark. Radar indicated tornado. Yeah. We pretty much know that. We're trying to get... Okay, so as of 2 minutes ago, you see this little curve right here. That's where this is in the mid-level, so it could be It's trying to fight down to the ground, this funnel cloud is, and I wish I could see the tops value, but I can't. Because sometimes these funnel clouds can exist in the thunderstorms, but if it doesn't have a strong enough downdraft, it cannot get pushed down to the ground. And again, remember, it's called a funnel cloud until it makes contact with the earth, in which case it's then called a tornado. In these areas, though, Salem, Livonia, Hardinsburg, Pekin, you need to be in your safe spot. You've got time to get there if you live in Pekin or Salem. If you're in the Hardinsburg, Livonia area or just off to the east or northeast of Hardinsburg, Livonia Road, you need to just be hunkered down in whatever structure you're in right now, and putting something on top of your head, neck, and spine area to limit any potential debris falling on you. I mean, that rotation's still there. I'm sure they're going to continue. They're going to continue this tornado warning. But that's the area right there that I'm most concerned with. Right there. That's just, yeah, see, we're behind at updates. We need to get, okay, here we go. There's another update. So this just updated. This is the 0.5 degrees, so this is at the base. You still see a little bit of rotation there, so there could be a very weak tornado that's just bouncing along. It's past Livonia and Hardinsburg now. I wish this map, let me check another map. Yeah, that is still kind of a hook. I'm on a different program here. It's not really showing. I do want to show you this briefly, though. See this? This right here. This is the hook part of that thunderstorm that has gone between Livonia and Hardinsburg. That's where the rotation is at right now. So that's what's prompted this tornado warning. Another national. Good, Trish. I'm glad you did. Again, I am in a safe place, actually. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Ari, I agree. The spring's kind of rough. I feel like we're in for this for the next couple of months. Downtown, sorry, calmer. Let's see, lightning launching in your basement. You don't like it when I'm concerned. Yeah. Yeah, just because I tend not to be a hype. But definite tornado warning across this area, across South Central Washington County. I mean, that rotation is still there. It's very poorly organized, but it is there. So you have to act in this situation as if there is a tornado actively on the ground. So again, if you're in South Central Washington County, you need to be taking this very seriously and getting into a basement or a lowermost room that preferably is in a central part of a house or a structure that's not bordering an outside wall or window. Has anybody lost power in these areas? Rosebud, yeah, I mean, yeah, this is probably going over Rosebud right now, I would imagine. Or it will be in the next 5 minutes, but this is 2.5 minutes old, so yeah, this is probably right over the Rosebud area right now. The rotation, anyways. Again, it's not clearly defined, but you have to act as if it is an active tornado warning. Beeline still good, still have power. Is Rego all clear? Yes, Rego's all clear. For any major threats, absolutely. It's off to your east. Should get plenty of views tonight. Maybe. Let's see. Campbellsburg still has power. Very good. What about, okay, flickered a couple times in Fredericksburg. What about Millersburg near Tater Road did not lose power? People should not be chatting with me that's in this tornado warning area for the record, but I assume you still have your phone and internet access. But I'm really curious about this area out by Rosebud right now, because this radar scan's 3.5 minutes behind. This is that base level 0.5. This is more mid-level, was updated a minute and a half ago. So, I mean, you can see the rotations there. It's just really weak. It's disorganized, but it's more prevalent, though, higher in the storm at that 2.5-degree angle of the radar. So you need to, it doesn't matter. At any time you're under a tornado warning, you have to take it seriously as if it's on the ground. This rotation, though, is currently on track to pass right towards Salem. So if you're in Salem, I'm sure those sirens are still going off. I would get into a safe spot because clearly if the rotation is there, it only takes about 15 seconds for that rotation to, or that funnel to reach the ground, and then it's a tornado. So I'm trying to see if this is the rotating part of that storm, and this was just updated 30 seconds ago. This was the part of the storm that had the tornado warning. I'm imagining that that's probably the same part of the storm. But that is going to be heading right towards South Salem. So the southern part of Salem, this would be that area, that storm that's got the rotation right now. A little bit more disorganized in the mid-levels. Again, that's right here is the area that's showing it visually on the radar. But yeah, anywhere in this area right here that I'm circling, you need to be taking cover. If you're in Salem, you absolutely should be taking cover or into a safe, strong structure. Still power at the fairgrounds. Yeah, absolutely. You need to be in your safe spot because this rotation is going to be headed right towards Salem. In basement. Good, Larissa. Bexmel. Okay. Watching live on your phone. You still have everything. Okay. Mount Tabor. Everybody still got that. Rosebud. Very windy. Danielle, you're going to probably mock me, but I know I've heard of Claysville, but I'm not sure exactly where that is. Still power, still power, still power. Well, good for having power. It's just we have to take this. The school would actually be probably the safest place to be if you were in a school during a tornado warning. This tornado warning, though, is still active, and it's actually active until 11:45, so another 19 minutes across this area. This rotation, again, if you're in Salem, you're clear if you're in Livonia and Hardinsburg. Campbellsburg, you're clear. This is the 0.5. This was actually just updated. So this is the storm relative velocity right along this line, and it looks as if, still take the tornado siren seriously, but it looks as if this line is now back to straight line winds at this point. I mean, I know you see this red and green next to each other like a little jigsaw, but that looks more promising. If that's continuing up through the mid-levels and the upper level part of the storm, I could see where they may let this tornado warning expire, but they may keep it in effect. Yeah, you can see how there was that notch back here, but now it's a solid straight line. So now I think you're dealing with a straight line wind. So we're past Rosebud now. We're into Salem currently, and then it'll be points off. Again, you're still in the tornado warning area, so you have to take it seriously. This is just my personal take. I would still stay in your safe spot if I were you. When is that? 21? Sorry, this is the 1.5 rotation there. Yeah, even the mid-levels are showing where it's straightening out. I think they're going to let this tornado warning expire. I don't work for the National Weather Service, though, but it's still an active warning. So if you're in Salem, if you're in any of these areas, you need to take it serious. Even Pekin, I would take it serious. It's a past you in Livonia and Hardinsburg, though, even though you still show that you're in the warning area. Purple sky, strong winds. Case Chapel. God, I wish I knew exactly where that was. I would say, yeah. I mean, if you were to draw a line straight south of Salem, if you were west of that line, straight south of Salem, I do believe you are out of the active threat of the tornado at this point. They just got this polygon still in place. You're still in your safe spot in Spain. Yes, well, thank you. I appreciate the trust. But stay there for probably the next 10 minutes or so, and then I think I'll feel okay with clearing you. I want to double check. That part of that thunderstorm is over Salem right now, so still have that active tornado warning in place. So if you're in the Salem area or around that area, please stay there until I feel comfortable that it's east of you. Livonia is clear tonight. Yes, you're fine in Livonia. You may go to sleep. Thanks, Janice. I appreciate that. Feels more like a bad storm now. Large winds, heavy rain. Yeah, Braden. Yeah, I mean, that rotation could still be there just south of Salem. Actually, since radar's behind a few minutes, probably east now. But we did see that rotation go away at one point, and it turned into more straight line winds. I would say they're just going to let this tornado warning actively expire. Thanks, Bond. Appreciate that. But yes, Livonia is safe. If you're in Salem, hang on just a few more minutes. Pekin, I mean, you're still technically in the tornado warning, so you need to be in your safe spots. Make sure this hasn't updated. But again, Central Washington County still under a tornado warning right now anyways. Yeah, they still got that active. As you can see though, that straight line, you can see this straight line just indicating straight line winds to me. That severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, I know we've been focused on that tornado warning. That severe thunderstorm warning, for the record, 60 mile per hour wind gust, and it's moving east at 60 miles per hour. I do expect them to probably let that expire. But for now, they're still in it. Let me go over to the base reflectivity. I still think give it another 5 minutes in Salem. Can anybody report what the current conditions are in Salem right now? I mean, you can still see, I mean, there's still areas of very faint rotation, but that's high up in the storm. That's why they've kept this on. Paley, you're clear of a severe thunderstorm warning at this point. This is what it looked like 6-7 minutes ago. So again, I just want to get some updated scans to show that everybody's on the all clear. Of course, that's way behind. It was 4 minutes ago, so hang on in Salem. Raining and thunder, but not as strong as in Salem anymore. Makes sense. Just got calm again. Heavy rain, lightning, heavy rain in Salem. I mean, truly, I feel like you're safe in Salem at this point, but I'm just going to say, please wait another few minutes. The Styron stopped. That's interesting. Because you're still actively under a warning, so. Still raining, calming down. That's good. Thank you for that update. Appreciate it. Thank you for all the updates. It helps. It's like having like a bunch of storm spotters there. So again, as of 5 minutes ago, there was a very generalized area of rotation. No, Holden. Siren stopped. Interesting. Sirens, I mean, based on the warning that I still see on this software program, should not have stopped. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate that. It is 2.5 hours past my bedtime. And to make no money on this, too. But it's fine. I'd rather warn people and have people listen to me nerd out over this. I'm going to be honest. This was 28:34. I am now good to call Salem safe. So if you're in Salem, the city of Salem, you are completely safe and you can leave your safe spots. South of Salem, west of Pekin, high winds. Okay. Yeah, that's where that's blowing out there. Salem, you're fine now. You're clear. You can go to sleep. I feel like Bon Ross is a student of mine. I'll find that out tomorrow. Thanks, Bubba. Appreciate it. Nice to talk to you. Let's see. So Salem, you're all good. Pekin right now is getting it. Sierra, no thanks. I'm okay. Let's see. You're welcome. Enjoy the sleep. Hey, just think when you wake up in the morning, it's going to be 40 degrees colder with snow showers. So hooray. Now I can go to bed. Well, I'll get it east of Washington County and then I'll go to bed. You're welcome, Casey. Good night, Stacy. You all are welcome. Glad everybody's safe. We'll see if that actually did touch down at all, if there's any damage reported. But again, to recap, anywhere west of Salem, this radar is behind by about 4 minutes or so. But that tornado warning is now canceled. So there's no active tornado warning in place across the area. So again, that tornado warning has been canceled across the area. As you can see, this line has moved through, but there is no active tornado warning in place. Doesn't mean that there can't be. We're still under a tornado watch, but general thunderstorms, very strong storm here in Meade County, Kentucky, extreme southern Crawford County. But they did go ahead and let that siren expire. You're welcome, Jackie. Oh, is it, Abby? Well, it should be off now. They went ahead and let it expire. And Dakin said hi. Hi, Dakin. You're welcome. There is no active tornado warning in. You're welcome, Tim. There's no active tornado warning in Salem right now. 33 to 37. No, that tornado warning was done away with, so you're okay. Just fine. That tornado warning has been let to be expired across the area. Just dealing with general thunderstorms at this point. Still a pretty strong storm that went through Salem. You're welcome, Amy and Janice and Patty. Are you good in Floyd County? No. And I don't say that to frighten you. So Floyd County, you're getting ready to actually get in on the action. And if I pause this at the right time, Floyd County. So if you're in Cordon, Floyd County, there's this very severe portion of this thunderstorm that will actually be headed towards Cordon. It may be just south of Cordon, and into Floyd County. So that'll be in the next 30 minutes or so for you. But again, you can see as of 11:37, there's no active tornado warning in Salem anymore. Hardinsburg, yes, you're fine now. Naomi, good to talk to you. You're welcome. Yeah, Shelby. It's all right. No tornado warning right now. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to stay awake long enough to see you through that one, but I'll do my best. Unless I can have a boss give me like a 3-hour late pass tomorrow, then I'll stay up. This is our line of thunderstorms. Very strong line of thunderstorms. Actually just passed through Brownstown, just passed through Salem. We're back to the cumulative reflectivity. Composite reflectivity is really what it is. If you're in Shepherdsville, I know Hardin County, Kentucky tornado warning. Grayson County, Kentucky tornado warning with that. If you're in Corden, you need to be just on alert. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning right now, but that's a very, very strong segment of thunderstorm down that way. Thanks, Shelby. I appreciate that. Heather, you're welcome. Paula. Yeah, Sheila, you're fine now. Scott County, Scottsburg, watching from Marengo. You're welcome, Rosie. So Scottsburg, yeah, I mean, it's that same storm that just went through Salem. It's just, I say just, it's severe thunderstorm warning. That's headed off to the east-northeast, so right at you at around 55 miles per hour, but it's producing anywhere between 55 and 60 mile per hour wind gust. Shouldn't be too bad of wind damage solely because you see a lot of lower reflectivity rain, the orange, the yellow, before you get to that leading edge of the red. But Scottsburg, just general, raining very hard in Little York, yes, as that is moving in. Pekin. Yeah, so Pekin right now, let's see when this was last updated. 2.5, 3 minutes ago. Pekin, you are probably now starting to hear the thunder maybe in the distance. But you might barely get clipped with this 50-55 dBz reflectivity as it's headed off to the east, northeast. Hardinsburg, it's still storming there. Still a severe thunderstorm warning, but no tornado warning. Let's see. You're in Pekin and your kids are freaking out. I mean, you still have the strongest to come of the storm, but it should just be right around 50, 55 mile per hour winds. You'll be okay. Thunder and rain, yeah, it's like I said, it's starting to finally arrive in Salem. Yes, Salem is good now. The thunderstorms will slowly be decreasing in intensity. You're welcome, Heather. They said tornado between Salem and Pekin. You did have some hail in Salem. Interesting. I don't see, so between Salem and Pekin, I mean, there's no active tornado warning. Doesn't mean that nothing's happening per se. Rotation wise, I do not see it. So no, I don't buy that one. Doesn't mean it's still not intense. Interesting that you had some hail in Salem. I won't lie. That was able to make it down to the ground. Where are we at now? Let's see. Salem is good. Yep. Uh-oh, my Facebook viewers are dropping precipitously. I guess that means the majority of people are in Salem. Where are you all at? Do you want me to look anywhere specific? It's just general severe thunderstorms right now. The area of this line that I'm most concerned with at this point in time would be what's closing in on Corden. It's a very strong thunderstorm. And actually, let's look at the Ville. Yeah, so Corden right now, this is that thunderstorm that we said was headed towards Corden and Lanesville, even though that update just took it away. When you start to see these Ville values of like 40, 45 kilograms per meter squared, is what's typically happening is that's hail that's reaching the ground. I would say probably pea to marble size hail in that area, but it's headed right at Corden and eventually Lanesville, just north of New Amsterdam. Just went through Leavenworth, so you are getting kind of a hail risk there. I mean, I wouldn't classify that really as rotation. Again, this line you see between these greens and these reds are just now that's interesting. Just south of Corden. That's interesting to watch right here. I'm not saying that's going to turn tornadic, but just south of Corden, there's a little bit of rotation that's showing on the radar that would be headed towards New Middletown and actually south of Lanesville. And you can see it. I mean, that area is still there on the mid levels and on the lower levels. So that's just something to watch as that storm is just so intense down there. Pekin. Yeah, you're all good, all good. Man, I wish that would update. 37, that needs to be updating. I'm going to let that go and let that update. Let's see. Pekin, Borden again, just general severe thunderstorms headed your way. 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts if you get in one of those more red intensity areas. That storm that's headed towards Corden and just south of Corden, that's the intense one right now. Pekin, you still need to hang on because you've got another storm segment just southwest of you that's trying to form an intensity, and you start to see those little pink pockets. You have sirens going off in Pekin. You're welcome, Faith. There's no active tornado warning, so I'm not really sure. I mean, if we close in on Pekin, this was literally just now. This is what it looks like in Pekin just now. I don't see a tornado threat in Pekin. No. Down around Palmyra and south of Fredericksburg is where you start to get some of these pockets of more intense. So headed towards Crandall, headed towards Greenville, Georgetown. Borden, yeah, I mean, this area just south of Palmyra is probably going to end up going between Greenville and you, but this storm segment's trying to increase in intensity as well. You can see what's headed towards Corden. That's possibly putting down some hail there. Martinsburg, I wish I knew where that were at. Let me look. Oh, okay. You learn something every day. Between Palmyra and Borden. So probably right here for Martinsburg. Just general severe thunderstorm warning at this point. But that is a very strong segment of that storm for the record. No active tornado warnings in our area. You got to go south of the river for that. Martinsburg, no, you're not good in terms of being clear, where I can give you the all clear, but you are, Martinsburg's probably right here. You need to hang on another 10, 15 minutes or so. I mean, right now you're just under a general severe thunderstorm warning, but again, I wouldn't feel good about giving you the all clear currently. Severe thunderstorm warnings, though, running legitimately all the way from Ball State and Muncie all the way south into southern Kentucky and into Tennessee, actually, Nashville, under severe thunderstorm warning. We do have a couple of tornado warnings, but they are for Hardin County, E-Town under a tornado warning, Hodgenville and LaRue County, and these are all headed off to the north and east. So if you live in Shepherdsville, you're not under a current tornado warning, but there's a tornado warned storm. The action here in southern Indiana, so if you live in Floyd County, you live in Clark County, you've got this very strong segment of thunderstorm here. If you are in Pekin, you're kind of shooting the gap between these two intense sections. The rain's starting to probably calm down in Salem, Campbellsburg, Saltillo, Livonia, Hardinsburg. Rain starting to calm down. You'll still get some light to moderate rain over the next hour or so. Little York, going through your intense thunderstorm right now, but again, it's just a general severe thunderstorm warning. Maybe 50, 55 mile per hour wind gusts, nothing tornadic. Campbellsburg is in the clear, correct? You're welcome. No tornadoes right now, Alex. Hopefully that does not change. Learned a new place though. I'll be honest, these win at 11:45. I mean, no, it looks like you'll be just fine in Martinsburg in terms of a tornadic risk. If there's any trees or limbs on the road, call the Washington County Police Department. Yeah, thanks, Terry. That's great. Let's see. Pekin in the clear. Yeah, just for general storms right now. Yeah. You're welcome, JD. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I love teaching about weather, so I don't love when we have severe weather, but I do enjoy being able to reduce the anxieties of others. I used to be scared of thunderstorms when I was younger, and then that turned into a fascination with it. So it's kind of wild how that works. Ironically here, you can see we're in the Greenville area now. So just past Borden, going through it right now. You're starting to see some brighter greens showing up on this wall of like straight line winds. So that right there is likely producing 60 mile per hour straight line wind damage in through Greenville right now, headed towards Georgetown, and even south into Lanesville. Dale, was it just rotation in Paley Hardinsburg? Was anything confirmed on the ground? I've not heard anything. It typically takes a couple of hours before anything would come in, like to the Storm Prediction Center, to the local weather service. Typically tomorrow morning, you would see that. Yeah, Pekin's going through their portion right now. It would have been south of Paoli, so it would have been towards Hardinsburg, just west of Hardinsburg, and then between Hardinsburg and Livonia. You're welcome, Rosie. So have a good night. Get some sleep. Yeah, I mean, it's still thundering in Paoli right now. So again, you've still got that convective storm activity. You're directly between Floyd and Sellersburg, and then Memphis. Interesting. I'll need to look that up. Directly between Floyd and Sellersburg. Floyd and Sellersburg. Yeah, I mean, you're just going through that rough part of that storm. I don't see anything tornado warned currently. Memphis, aren't you a little further to the north? Memphis, Indiana. Oh, it's in Clark County. Okay, pretty much between Borden and Charlestown. Borden and Charlestown. Okay, there you would be, somewhere in there. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like you're just in that area of just those possible straight line winds up to 60 miles per hour. Those pink areas, those 60 to 65 dBz areas staying to your south, and they're not as widespread right now, but you're going to get a very healthy thunderstorm, to say the very least. Floyd Sellersburg. I'm interested. The shape of this storm I don't really like. We'll watch it though. No active tornado warning, Shelby. So, but you can see, I mean, that line is very. When you start to see a lot of that curved motion in these lines, that's where you can get these brief spin up tornadoes. So definitely you need to should be starting to clear out through Cordon right now though. So bearing down here on New Albany, Lanesville, Georgetown, Sellersburg. This is the area that we need to watch. Down around Georgetown, I mean, I just see general, just straight line winds currently, anyways. Lori, you're very welcome. Thank you. I need a lot more sleep at my age now. When you say I'm interested or that's interesting, that's funny that you pick up on that. Jim, you're welcome. Lydia, you're welcome. Angie, you're welcome. Hopefully you can get some sleep. Well, Lori, you know all about how I was in school, so. Or at least you all sons know how I was in school. I knew I talked about weather every single chance I got. But this is the segment of the line that's gone through Georgetown that's headed towards New Albany, Clarksville, just to the east of Greenville. Now, this area headed towards Henryville. That's the last thing I'm sure you want to hear. I'm only really seeing it up here in the 2.5 degree, the storm relative velocity. Still just a general severe thunderstorm warning. Nothing to be too worried about. Because if we back out, you can see those tornado warnings are actually south of the Louisville radar. So you're in northern Kentucky there. We're just seeing a very strong, I mean, you can see it. That green path right here. That is the wall of straight line winds. So moving through Georgetown, headed towards New Albany, going through Galena right now, headed towards St. Joseph, headed towards Sellersburg. Sorry, you all, I'm trying to concentrate. I know. Those of you that know me, I actually can get quiet. There's a little bit of rotation entering Floyd County. Right around Georgetown. Yeah, but it's too weak. Too weak at this point. Pekin. No, you're okay in Pekin. You're just fine in Pekin. You'll buy me a coffee in the morning. Thank you. Appreciate that. There's a lot of coffee shops between where I live and where I work. Just kidding. Yes, Tracy, you're in Salem. You can go back to bed. Good night. You all good. Definitely appreciate all the reports. It's one thing to see things on a radar, but it's another to get the ground truth of what's happening. So we're just about to the end of my coverage area. For my friend in Switzerland County, I have no idea if she's watching, but there's no way I'll be awake for that. This is an interesting, I keyed in on this area it's probably over Henryville right now. There's a tiny bit of rotation higher up in the storm. Nothing that's prompted any sort of tornado warning, but you can see it right here. Right as it's approaching Henryville, northern Clark County. It's showing up now on the 2.5 degree. And there it is on the 1.5, but weak. So that's an area that I want to see the next couple of scans. This area right here. It'll actually probably, when it updates, it'll be right over Henryville. So this would be north of Charlestown. This is the area that I'm talking about right here. Let me just make sure I don't see anything there. No, but that is a... Boy, they're in Floyd County. What I'm looking at is just the general, just curved nature there of that line. Because as this southern part has actually zoomed out more to the east, it's kind of creating this little notched area to watch actually as they head into southern Jefferson County and Louisville. But again, standard severe thunderstorm warnings. Those, if there's anybody still watching from Scottsburg, no longer a severe thunderstorm warning. That portion of the line has weakened. Any tornado warnings are way to our south, so we're just dealing with severe thunderstorm warning now for Floyd and Clark County in Indiana. So if we go, that severe thunderstorm warning is for northeastern Harrison County, central Clark County, Floyd County, and northwestern Jefferson County in central Kentucky. That is in effect for another 14 minutes. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, straight line winds, radar indicated. Pretty much been the story that we've seen throughout most of the line. Got a little brief excitement there in Washington County and Orange County earlier. But we'll watch this for just a few. Pekin's good to go back to bed. Good night. Yeah, you're going to get thunder. I mean, on the back side of this, you've still got some convective rain. Lexington. Oh, hi, Ricky. Lexington. Boy, if you're in Lexington, you still got a ways to go. But hopefully the dynamics of this storm will be kind of starting to die out. Now, wait a second. Is there a Wolfe County, Kentucky? Spelled like my last name? I feel like I'm entitled to money. I'm good, Ricky. How are you? I'm tired. I just want to see this storm get into Floyd and Clark County, and it really looks like it's decreasing in intensity. So if anything, they may end up canceling this warning early. Scott County seems to be mostly all in the clear. Jennings County, so up near Vernon, severe thunderstorm warning. This is kind of the situation that we're dealing with here. Closing in on New Albany and Sellersburg here shortly. So Greenville, Lanesville, Georgetown, just general thunderstorms. Borden, general thunderstorms. They're headed off to the east and east-northeast at 50 miles per hour. Again, this is that one severe thunderstorm warning. You're welcome, Trey. Have a good night. Let's see. Got back from Tampa. Ooh, boy, you're really not going to like the weather tomorrow then. Much different than Tampa. Yep, just severe thunderstorm warnings, nothing too outrageously bad. Did they reissue? No. No, they took it away. Okay. I got myself confused there for a minute. Severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Harrison County is canceled. Base reflectivity. You know, I'm telling you, man, that area that went right through Henryville, and it's headed over towards Bedford, Kentucky, so south of Madison, northern Clark County. That is rotation that's actually increasing at the 2.5 degree. And you're starting to see it down low. I'm real curious on this one, if that's going to prompt a tornado warning in northern Clark County. I want to stay live just long enough to see if it does that. Salem's in the clear, absolutely. Thunder and lightning are showing, yeah, they are. 20 minutes north of Muncie. All right, Gavin, just because I know you. Let's see, products. Let's go to Indy. 20 minutes north of Muncie. Let me get my bearings here. Muncie. You said tornado sirens? I only see severe thunderstorm warning. I don't see, I mean, there's a little bit of rotation with that one cell, but I don't see an active tornado warning in place. Is that what you said? Tornado sirens going off. Interesting. Maybe there's tornado warning that I just can't see up there. Hayden, yes, absolutely. Let's see. So 20 minutes north of, yeah, I don't see an active tornado warning up there. I mean, I see a little bit of rotation here and there, but I mean, this is likely the area you're talking about, but that's a severe thunderstorm warning. Keep me updated on that, Gavin, but I don't see anything too bad there. Head back down to Louisville. Yeah, look at that. That's at northern Clark County. It's not even in a thunderstorm warning currently. I mean, yeah, it's not. It just looks more impressive on the 2.5 degree scan than it does anything else. A little bit on the 1.5, but nothing down at the ground. General, just severe thunderstorm warnings at this point, people. Most of the way through Floyd. Let's see, Charlestown. Interesting, Gavin. I mean, I don't see a tornado warning, but is Charlestown in the clear or no? So I'm going to go out and I'm going to say no. You're still actively in a severe thunderstorm warning right now, and those storms are still off to your south and west, that segment of that line. It's a broken line segment now, but it's still there. You can see you're here in Charlestown. Southwest is where you need to look. That warning is still active. Still in effect until 12:15, so another 7 minutes on this severe thunderstorm warning. Moving northeast at 65 miles per hour, hazard potential 70 mile per hour wind gust. And as we saw earlier, these storms can turn tornadic very quickly. You're welcome, Aaron. Probably going to be hopping off here soon. Let's see, Charlestown. I mean, the stronger part of that segment there is actually north of Charlestown, like between Charlestown and Scottsburg. Like up here is the more intense area right now. I'm betting they're going to let this severe thunderstorm warning lapse, would be my guess. Because you can see what's headed towards Charlestown. This portion of the line is in the middle of collapsing. Now, it could regenerate, but we're starting to get outside of that area that had the better dynamics for severe weather. This whole line is actually starting to degrade as it would appear visually. So I think we're trending in the right direction. You're welcome, Brandon. You as well. Hope you're doing well. So having said that, severe thunderstorm warnings in place. The line, though, is weakening. Still might get a 40, 50 mile per hour wind gust, but overall, though, I think you can see that those storms are weakening down here. I still don't see a tornado warning up there for you, Gavin, so I'm not really sure what all that was about. Yeah, you can see just general thunderstorm activity currently. 12:09. Still have that thunderstorm warning in effect. Perfect golfing weather. Yeah, if you can get lined up with the hole in the right direction, you could. Thank you, Chrissy. I appreciate that. Maybe my bosses will understand. Yeah, Shoals and Martin County, it was intense there through that section. Absolutely. So thank goodness you got through there. Those straight line winds are nothing to be messed with. Austin and Scottsburg, it's east of Scottsburg. So if you're in Scottsburg, you're in the clear. I can't remember if Austin's okay. It's north. Austin, you're in the clear. I mean, you might get some thunder and stuff, but the main line threat is now off to your east in Scottsburg and in Austin. General thunderstorms otherwise, though. Sellersburg, it's now east of you. Charlestown, it's getting east of you. And that other one is in effect until 12:15, so they're going to let that die out, I'm sure. General thunderstorm activity at this point, everybody. So that's all I got for you. Thanks for. Did they really just do that? Yeah, they did. They just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Jefferson County in south central Indiana, eastern Clark County. So again, they're just keeping this area just warned. 50 to 60 mile per hour straight line winds. And that storm is moving northeast at 75 miles per hour. So, as always, even though I'm signing off, that doesn't mean the severe weather threat is ending. Please have your emergency alerts turned on your phone. But as of right now, it looks to just be general severe thunderstorms with a slight chance of straight line winds. Okay? Otherwise, nice to talk to you, Shelby and Gavin. You guys have a good night.